Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, hopefully everything's going as clear and as clean as I hope this race will go here tonight. It's a racetrack that's going to be revived here in 2025, but before we get to that point in the regular NASCAR season, let's revive it here on iRacing. Live from Rockingham, it's the Coastal Financial Truck Series presented by Racing Revolution. Here tonight for the on-cue equipment 125. Vspeed's going to present you flag-to-flag coverage of race number 3. This season has been, well, to say the least, it's been up and down. They've had some super speedway style racing at Chicagoland, pack style. This truck was almost wide open. Then we went to a road course for 30 laps. 2 separate winners, 2 separate races, but here at Rockingham, it's going to be a hybrid between that short track style racing and the intermediates that we saw at Chicagoland. This track really does have its own characteristics. Slightly bowed tri-oval down the front stretch, and here tonight for 125 miles, we get set to go green. Opened October 31st, 1965. 22 to 25 degrees of banking. That 3 and 4, especially 3 and 4, steeply banked. Very difficult to get off the exit of turn 2. You'll see a lot of drivers get close to that backstretch wall. And if you're on the inside of somebody, after a few laps of being side by side through 1 and 2, there's a good chance that you could get pushed into that outside wall. It's similar to Darlington, where it claims a lot of trucks, a lot of cars going to end up there in that exit, and you have to be very conservative as this asphalt surface has aged to perfection. It will chew the tires clean off here tonight. Race analysis up on your screen, and starting here with 125 laps, as I said, 45 mile per hour pit road speed limit. It actually, I think, is limited to 40 miles per hour here on the iRacing service. 4 tire sets available, 75% fuel, and the stage at lap 45. Auto cautions are actually activated for tonight, so that was last week's race analysis on that portion of things, but we will have automatic cautions turned on. Track stewards also out on the track in case something happens that does not trigger an iRacing automatic caution. So disregard that portion of our race analysis here tonight. But as I said before, these guys have been itching and waiting to get on this service and get on this race. Talk to some of these guys in the pre-race. It's going to be tough to pass because staying down on the bottom is great on the entries of these corners, but getting past and clear on the bottom is almost impossible on both ends of this racetrack. You're going to see a lot of guys fighting down on that inside and pulling a slide job, as we call it, shooting into the entry a little bit deeper than they usually would, and that will cost them the right front. So you have to plan and premeditate your moves 2 or 3 turns in advance to try to set up the run and try to get them on the entries of these corners. It's going to be the prime spot, the entry at turn 3, just as you come down that backstretch. These guys, of course, practicing. We saw the 91 of Reed having a great practice, and the fan favorite out there with Jeremy Burns also up on the top 5 of the boards. But right here in the warm-up, Dakota Floyd out there putting down close to 23-second lap times. Have to wait and see who's actually going to come to the top here by the end of this thing. But with that, 12 seconds left, let's go ahead and talk about your grid here tonight. Starting on the pole, top spot, a 23.841 Michael Reed. Just a little bit faster than Jeremy Burns by 1/100th of a second, roughly. Jeremy Burns to the outside. Your points leader coming into tonight. Took it over after Watkins Glen. Row number 2 is going to belong to Trevor Earhart. Kyle Diaz in the 26 to his outside. Dustin Reinstedel and Christian Bresnok will start 5th and 6th. Travis Gilbert and Dakota Floyd, 7th and 8th position. And for row number 5, it's Matthew Robinson, Justin Ritchie in the number 6. Jake Williams and Grant Thorpe will start 11th and 12th. 13th goes to Christopher Stange. Justice Murphy in the 14th position. 15th goes to Nick Alves. Jackson McGeorge in 16th position. Alex Forget Berube won at Chicagoland, lost the points lead, still second coming into tonight with Chris Nail to his outside. Then it's Parker Johnston and Trevor Keith to round out your top 20. Morgan Cook, Vspeed's very own, rocking the new apparel here tonight. We'll have him up on the driver cam, I'm sure, at some point. Jacob Sirkovich starting in 22nd. 23rd goes to Christopher Schaefer. Kenneth Lowry going to start 24th. 25th spot goes to Grant Turner. Logan Threlkeld back in 26th to start tonight. And rounding out your 28 truck field, it's Joseph Gendron and Devin Hudgens in the 84. So block IQ and ingenuity on that front row. Michael Reed going to try to capitalize on this front starting spot and get into the clean air. That's the key here at Rockingham, is to get no one in front of you, no one beside you, and be able to run your own line for as long as you can. Don't run away from the rest of this pack, though. If you find yourself pulling out 1 or 2 seconds ahead, you're probably going to get reeled in before that stage break. We'll have to wait and see for the 91 of Reed. But here we go. Coastal Financial Truck Series presented by Racing Revolution. And the on-cue equipment 125 about to be underway from Rockingham. Live here on Vspeed, the Truck Series is underway for race 3. Does exactly that. What did I say at the start of this thing? Get the clean air, get no one around you, pull out 2 or 3 tenths and hold that. Maintain it here. Jeremy Burns in second position. Had a little bit of a hiccup there at the start of this thing. When you look back, they're still shuffling around. Got drivers 2 and 3 wide. There's, I think that was Morgan Cook that was stuck 3 wide. He's going to navigate up 6 positions because of that start. Let's go back on our Vspeed instant replay and take a look at what happened here mid-pack. 85 or 98 in the wall. Big checkups here. Morgan Cook picked up about 3 positions from that. And it continued on. Christopher Schaefer having a tough time here in the 19th position. Here's Trevor Keith on the backdrop there. Running single file. Jacob Sirkovich. Jackson McGeorge, who had the problem there on the start of this race, down 6 spots, but this position for the top 20. And we got a truck around. It's the 15 trying to avoid it, and he gets it anyway. Caution is out on lap 5, and the 1 of Matthew Robinson in 3 and 4. What happened to the 1 truck here? Contact, it looks like the 24 into the left-hand side. He's checked up, and here comes Trevor Keith, nowhere to go. He gets turned into the side of him. Just comes up and tags at 15. And the 1 probably would have got away damage-free had that not happened, but there's just nowhere to go. The side-by-side, nobody calling it out there, and the 1 truck just stuck in the middle of the racetrack. Unfortunate there for both those drivers. Robinson's going to come down pit road and get some of that damage repaired, but it looks like that left front is going to take at least 2 to 3 minutes to get put back on. And a little bit past the stall there. Our first caution of the day. 0 lead changes, and we're going to rack him back up. Michael Reed loving what he sees here, though. For every lap that goes by, if he's a short run truck, this helps him out even more for that stage. And while we have the opportunity, let's bring those points up on the screen. It's Jeremy Burns with an 11-point lead over Alex Forget-Berube. Berube back in 16th position right now. Burns up in the top 3. As they hit that choose cone, you can see Dakota Floyd, Grant Thorpe back here, 12 and 13 points. So pretty tight between 2nd all the way down to 5th position. Then there's a little bit more of a gap between Chris Nail and Caleb Gilbert, all the way down to Parker Johnston, who's tied, 3-way tie between 9th and 11th position for these points. Logan Threlkeld in 8th position as we cycle through. Doubled back up here at Rockingham. 2-car incident on lap 5. We'll go back green on lap number 8 with Michael Reed on the inside choose cone. The 99 of Trevor Earhart ends up on the outside for this restart. Jeremy Burns going to try to clock the timing in the restart zone. Green flag back underway at the Rock. Oh, and the 57 of Dakota Floyd down on the apron here. He merges back up. Close one there with the 5. Back out on the racing surface now. Things seem to have cleared up for him there. Let's go back on the replay and see what happened to Dakota Floyd. To get the green flag here, and I'm not sure if the 77 of Grant Thorpe got into the back of him or not. Oh, there's a check up there with the 29. So he actually got into the back of him. Jake Williams kind of sent the front of that truck around. Now Dakota Floyd trying to work his way back up there, all over the back bumper of the 5 of Sirkovich. On board with Dakota Floyd. Now side by side into turn 1. The 86 gets sent up to the wall a little bit there on the entry in the corner. Boy gonna clear. And side by side behind him now with the 86. Joseph Gindren, Jackson McGeorge to the inside. We'll look back up here with the 99. He's lost a couple spots since this start. Travis Gilbert got by on the inside. Michael Reed trying to maintain that 7/8 of a second lead. Looking back here at Jeremy Burns. Now on board with the 24. Coastal Financial Toyota Tundra of Nick Alves. Battles here with Parker Johnston. This is for the 8th position. A few of these trucks really close to the wall there on the exit. Things. Nick Alves right now, it's just a matter of settling in. He's able to defend that 8th position. It will hinder your offense later in this run if you get to racing side by side for too long, and hopefully Parker Johnston's on the same page as that. If you can't get clear in 1 or 2 corners, best to just lay back and try to conserve. You'll probably see him in another 10 or so laps. They're starting to stack up a little bit here in the front. Christopher Stange now up 9 positions to the top 5. 30 truck on the move, and he was about 2/10 faster than the leader. Reed starting to lose some ground. Jeremy Burns also faster. It's a little bit of a mistake last time by with a 24.5. This time by a 24.4 for Michael Reed, but it's still a little bit slower than Jeremy Burns by 7/100ths of a second. Burns is reeling him in. And I think it's just a matter of time before we see this 72 catch up. On board with the 72. Has maintained the second spot for 99% of this run. It's here again. Matching lap times last time by, just barely faster. This time around, though, looks like it's going to be a 10th shaved off. Burns slowly reels him in. Got to wonder if Michael Reed is backing up a little bit on his corner entries to try to mitigate his truck pushing up the racetrack, especially on the exits. You're right on board with Reed. He's even got clean air. You imagine somebody being in front of you. And for Burns, he actually makes a mistake that last time, gives all that time back, a 10th slower. Johnston goes back to work on the 24. Nick Alves defends it again. He's a little bit higher through this portion of the racetrack. It's going to open the door up again. 48's going to peak low. Nothing there. These guys slowly migrating up on the entries in the middle portions of this race, and I can tell that the truck's starting to plow tight. They keep leaving the door open. Eventually that 48's going to find a way. And I said the outside is where you want to be on the exits. You can see the power off the corner. Nick Alves is going to continue to defend. And now Grant Thorpe's going to look to the inside. 48's going to give him a taste of his own medicine. Now all over the back bumper of Alves. Nowhere to go there, and he ends up losing a spot because of it. Almost 3 wide there for a moment. Morgan Cook just behind this battle. He's worked his way up 10 positions to be here just outside the top 10. He's going to peek to the inside, almost 3 wide here. Close moment there for Morgan Cook. And they are 3 wide through this 1 and 2. Morgan Cook powers through and gets clear of both of them. What a move there by the 51. Pass there for position 18. Grant Turner, Grant the Toes Turner, going to get clear of Jake Williams. On board now with Grant Turner. Up 7 from where he began in 25th position. You can see some battles up in front of him there. Jackson McGeorge just ahead of the number 7, but looks like Alex Forget stuck up on the outside line. They go back and forth. The 88 of Chris Nail. High line here through 3. It's getting tougher and tougher. You see the 48 of Johnston has lost ground. He falls back to the clutches of this 12th position battle, and just behind that, Dakota Floyd. They're looking 3 wide again through 1 and 2. This battle's getting more and more epic halfway through the stage now. Race analysis back up on your screen, lap 45. That's the lap we're aiming for. For Dakota Floyd, he's just trying to get back up there to the top 10 where he started. Contact there with Chris Nail, moves him out of the way to get clear through 3 and 4. There's a checkup here. Oh, it wasn't any contact. Floyd just had to evade. Deeper in this field, outside of the top 20, we've got some battles going on. The 84 of Devin Hudgens is looking around Jacob Sirkovich, who's way up the racetrack here into 1. 84 is going to dive to the inside. They'll be side by side down the backstretch for the 22nd position. Hudgens trying to clear. Driver that picked up damage earlier in this race, Trevor Keith, back in the 25th position by himself. And he is about 3.5 seconds back from this driver right here in the number 18, Logan Threlkeld. A little off the pace here tonight. Trying to log some laps, get used to Rockingham. One of the tracks that's not driven very often in a lot of leagues. And maybe new to this venue. Threlkeld continues on in 24th position. Board with the Vspeed Santa. A lot of clean air in front of him. This gives him the opportunity to run his own line and maybe learn the racetrack. But plowing tight. You can hear him lift out of the throttle off the exit. It's a very deceitful racetrack and really easy to burn off the right front. And I think right now that's where Threlkeld is. He's pushed it a little too hard early in the run. We'll have to wait and see what he learns for the second stage of this race. Michael Reed, still your leader. He has led 32 of the 33 laps, now 33 of the 34 as we cross that line. You can see Jeremy Burns running a little bit different approach into 1 and 2 just behind him. Trying to get that run down the backstretch. For Burns, it's been second place all day. top two class in the field have pulled away 2.5 seconds from Travis Gilbert. Back in the third position. Gilbert started in 7th, has worked his way up rather quickly. Still a lot of work left to be done. He has the 30 of Christopher Stange just behind him. Stange also up quite a few positions, up 9 to 4th. And going to work, it looks like he's getting a big run here out of turn 4. Might move his way into the top 3. Dives to the inside, almost some contact there. He'll take the run, 22 in the wall. Still enough there off of the safer barrier. 30 gets clear and a change for third. Trevor Earhart restarted up the front row on that last one for the choose cone. He's going back on offense. He was as high as 2nd. Back to 5th, settles out. Might be up to P4 here momentarily. Justin Ritchie, solid day. We talked to this driver in a lot of other events. He's kind of gotten discouraged through all these seasons. The month of February has not been kind to him. But right now, the 6th in 6th position. Solid day thus far for Justin Ritchie. Maybe the luck's finally turning around in North Carolina. Christian Bresnock, quiet day. Started 6th, down 1, but solid top 10 effort. Losing a little bit of ground here on the top 5. But we will have that stage here momentarily in about 6 laps, 7 laps. So across the line for lap 39. Grant Thorpe and Morgan Cook about to duke it out. Position battle for 8th. Morgan Cook looks to the inside, 77 way up the racetrack, touches that safer barrier. Thought maybe he was going to lose some ground, but it seems to be the line right now for the 77 on board. And Cook looked like he was going to take some offense to him. Apparently that safer barrier was enough to get a run off of that exit. Continues to push. We'll pull away a couple tenths here. Dakota Floyd has had to claw his way back into this top 10. After that restart, going down to the apron. Really surprised and impressed here that he has been able to do this in this short amount of time. We're talking about maybe 20 lap stint of time that he's had to come from 18th position all the way back up here to 10. And he's going to go to work on Morgan Cook. Looks to the inside, will dive down to the bottom. Cook shuts the door on him. Cook going to continue to play defense down the backstretch. And this is the moment. This is where stage points are going to be up for grabs. Every position in this top 10 going to count. Cook knows that. He'll defend. Lap 43 underway. Michael Reed might have it locked up, though. 1.4 seconds. The 91 going to lead another time by. White flag in the air, next time by for the stage at Rockingham. There's Jeremy Burns. He has what appears to be Trevor Keith. I couldn't quite see the number on the right side. That is Trevor Keith in the 15 as they go by to put him a lap down. Michael Reed's going to come off of turn 4. White flag in the air for stage number 1 of race number 3. And it's been Michael Reed dominating thus far, putting on a clinic. He will lead all 45 laps of this first stage. Down Thunder Alley into 3 and 4. And that looks like it's going to be just enough. Stage winner, Michael Reed at the Rock. Go back here to the battle between Morgan Cook. It was a tight one. Cook beats Dakota Floyd by 1/100th of a second there across the line for 9th position. Top 10 on your screen. With Reed, Burns, Stange, Gilbert, Earhart, Ritchie, Bresnock, Thorpe, Cook, and Floyd. Well, we know what this means. It's pit stop time. Michael Reed going to lead him down pit road. 15 stays out. He is a lap down. He will be the lucky pass recipient for this caution. 18 decides to pull out and abandon this pit road for the wave around. I believe that's Threlkel going for a wave around here. Get back on the lead lap. And Michael Reed going to hit the pit stall. Let's see who wins the battle off of pit road. Everyone seems to hit the stall okay. 4 tires for the vast majority. I would say 99% of these guys, but the 30 out of a cannon almost gets there. Michael Reed wins the battle off of pit road. Jeremy Burns, Stange, Earhart, Ritchie, not much changed here in the top 5. All the way back to Morgan Cook, who does pick up a spot. It looks like the 22 of Travis Gilbert is going to lose some positions, but maybe a speeding penalty here in the 91. Some issues with the 91 on pit exit, and he will lose the lead. A mistake is made here on pit exit for the 91. This changes everything. Well, now that cycles things out with a couple of drivers getting speeding penalties. It wasn't just the 91. Jeremy Burns got a speeding penalty as well. So 2 trucks here. Going to start from the back of the field. And just like that, Christopher Stange has the top spot. Going back green here. With 76 laps to go. Stage number 2 underway at Rockingham. Blinking issue here for the 22. We've got a caution out. The 7 truck of Turner, the 23 of Schaefer involved. Jeremy Burns just sneaks through that. 2 truck incident here on lap 51. Oh man, big wreck there. Not exactly sure what triggers this. We'll back it up a little bit further. 88 of Chris Nail gets into the back of the 723 trying to avoid it. I think that's the 91 who won the stage. And that right there adds insult to injury. He was already penalized, and now because he had to go to the back of the field, he gets caught up in this. Back one more time on board with Chris Nail. 23, man. Christopher Schaefer locked it up and slid down to the inside wall. This is a heavy hit. Fueled up motorsports driver Christopher Stange has the lead, and we're going to pull him into the booth. Chris, I got to say, this has been like some kind of Bible verse or a mysterious outcome. You go into pit road, you come out third, and then suddenly the top two disappear. What happened there?
I believe they sped on pit road.
So it's just one of those, you know, they make a mistake. Now you got your stage winner in the back of this field. He got caught up in that incident. And here with the choose cone, you're the command truck.
Yep, staying on the outside. This clean air is going to be good.
Well, hopefully we didn't just lose you on the connection there. I saw a quick little blink. I hope that that clears up for you. But anybody want to shout out while you have time in the booth here?
Well, we'll shout out to you. Love the broadcast. Love going back and watching it. And just try and keep this thing up front. Hopefully we'll be talking to you later.
Chris Stange going to start from the top spot here at Rockingham, lap 55. All right, here we go. Let's rack him back up. Quick caution there. A little bit of a connection issue with the 30. Hopefully it will clear up. I know for some of these guys, when things get slow and everyone's grouped up, it interferes with the graphics a little bit here. So hopefully that's all it is. We saw back there with Michael Reed, your stage winner, getting caught up in that incident. Let's see if he can claw his way back up front as the 30 of Stange leads him into turn one. Justin Ritchie in a good position as well. Trevor Earhart benefited from that. Dakota Floyd up to fifth now. He got around Morgan Cook on that restart. Morgan Cook down on the inside to start that. And a little bit of a check up there in the second and third row. You got side by side back here with Dustin Reinsettle. 84 on the outside. That's Devin Hudgens. On board with the 84. Still side by side into 3 and 4 with Ryan Stedel down there on the bottom. And we've got a caution. Joseph Gendron. Problems here. Down the back stretch. Starlink 86 Tundra going to come into pit road. Close pit, but has to hit the pit lane. Heavy damage on the right front. Let's go back and see what happened to him. 29 also involved. We'll back it up even further. 28 got loose on the backstretch, lost control up into the wall, bounces the wall back into another car. And that was the 26 of Kyle Diaz. We'll replay it again here. Rather. Jake Williams. Trevor Keith just barely misses that. That brings out another caution here on lap 58. 4 cautions, 1 lead change. Stage 1 winner Michael Reed back up. this way. Well, I was going to give you that information. Back up to 20th now. As we get set to go. At green at Rockingham. Don't go anywhere. More coverage will continue live here from Rockingham. The Coastal Financial Truck Series presented by Racing Revolution. It's the on-cue equipment 125. Back here live at Rockingham. Problems for Dustin Reinstedel on this restart. We went one lap around and Reinstedel gets kind of moved out of the way. We got a truck in the wall. That's the 18 of Logan Threlkeld. So we'll back it up here on our replay and take a look at what happened to the 11. Loose there into 3, holds on to it, comes back up on the racing surface, and it a little sketchy, but everyone able to get around that. Meanwhile, you saw Logan Threlkeld tag the wall there briefly. He's on board with the 18. He's trying to get around Alex Forget. Up to 17th spot after getting that lap back, so he is racing for positions again. Looks like he's just getting to the throttle a little too early and it plows up the racetrack. Following the tire tracks of the 19. Side by side here. Jeremy Burns, who got stuck back in traffic to the outside of Chris Nail. This is for the 12th position rather. And now to the outside of Nick Alves, going to try to get a 2-for-1 special this lap. He will off the exit of turn 2. Jeremy Burns just outside the top 10 and really close to the exit wall. Another driver that got back on the lead lap is the 15 of Trevor Keith. He is currently in the hunt for the 14th position. They'll look inside of the 84 of Hudgens. And Hudgens into the wall. Will stay green, but Hudgens loses 2 positions here. Now Trevor Keith goes to work. He sees the 88 get loose. Here we go. Into 1. Chris Nail was going to give up the spot there. He got really loose out of the exit of turn 2. Turn 4, rather, on that tri-oval. Is Nick Alves just in front of him. This is for the 13th position. On board with the 15 of Trevor Keith. Runs it deep into 1. Looking to wheel that thing on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Back up front, though, it's Christopher Stange. He got gifted the lead here with two drivers speeding on pit road. That was the 72. Jeremy Burns, the 91 of Michael Reed. Burns has worked his way up faster. The 91 picked up damage after getting sent to the back of this field. And it looks like Justin Ritchie might have something for the 30 here very soon. Continues to run the bottom. Last time by, identical lap times for the top three. Stange, Ritchie, Earhart, Thorpe, Floyd, Cook, Bresnock, Murphy, Johnson, and a truck sideways. That's Chris Nail. Able to save it. And a send here from the 15 gets him into the wall. Be interesting to see when the 88, if he gets back to the rear bumper of that 15, if we've saw the end of that. Trevor Earhart also picking up the intensity a little bit here. Last time by, both those trucks faster than your leader. Grant Thorpe, fastest truck in the top five by about 1,000th of a second. Dakota Floyd, very quick lap time. 5th position right now. Morgan Cook actually runs faster than all of them. 24.552. On board with the 51. Full motion rig, picking up all the bumps here in Rockingham, North Carolina. You can see how uneven 3 and 4 is. I'm not sure how much he has that turned up on the motion rig. You can tell the wheel is giving him a lot of input and feedback as well. Lap traffic about to become a factor. Truck up there just ahead of your leader in the 30 of Stange. Is caught up to the 91 of Reed, who had the top spot earlier. Made that mistake on pit road. Has some damage. He'll lose a lap. And how quickly things can change here at Rockingham. You go from leading the race to the back of the field, heavily damaged, now a lap down. It just continues to deteriorate. You start on the pole, you lead 100% of stage one. Tough break here for Michael Reed. Parker Johnston and Jackson McGeorge for the top 10. Johnston on the outside for 10th position. Going to try to defend his ground. He gets a little loose there. McGeorge is going to get the pass. Put him up to P10. Started 16th here today. Quite a few big gainers in this top 10. With Morgan Cook up 15. Stange up 12. We've got some side-by-side for 4th. Dakota Floyd to the inside of Grant Thorpe. Justin Ritchie has Trevor Earhart getting by on the outside. So a change for P2. Thorpe in the wall in the background. And Floyd will clear. Ritchie loses a spot. The names in the top 5 don't change, but their position has. Laps left. 45 laps left, sorry. And on an island all on his own, Christopher Stange in that clean air now pulls out to 1.3 seconds. 72 of Jeremy Burns working his way through this top 10. Looks now to the inside of Justice Murphy. Murphy going to hold it up there on the high line. BDE Motorsports driver trying to play defense on the 72. He will for now, and actually puts Jackson McGeorge back up into the hunt. TriStar Motorsports trying to get by the 72. They're keeping Jeremy Burns at bay right now. Burns started up in second with that speeding penalty, fell back to the tail end of this field. And once he got to the top 10, he's found it rather difficult. Now in front of him, a battle. On board with Burns, watching the 98 and the 12. On cue equipment on the back of the 98. Sponsored for tonight's race. Check their link out in the description. Looking 3 wide here. Burns thinks better of it. Is to continue side by side down the backstretch. Burns touches the apron here. Oh, just enough clear for McGeorge. With the 12 with the crossover out of 4, he'll go back to the inside into 1 and 2. He knows the 72 behind him here can get to the outside, so he backs off of that move. Going to continue to play defense. Morgan Cook looking to the inside for the 5th spot on Grant Thorpe. Just behind them, you have the 90, well, actually the 69 of Christian Bresnock. Trucking the wall in the background, that's the 98 of McGeorge. Hit the turn 2 exit wall. Not surprising here at Rockingham to see that. And luckily these guys able to avoid as he bounced that safer barrier. What a send there from Murphy, trying to get around Alex Forget, second in the points. Going to try to take the top 10. Little bit of contact off of turn 2. And you would think there was 5 laps to go. These guys racing hard for the top 10. Pinch down on the exit. More contact from the 12. Justice Murphy trying to keep 10th position away from Alex Forget. But Forget going to get the run off of 2. He will clear. Cook not able to complete that pass last time by. He'll look again. And now has Bresnock all over the back bumper as they look into 1 and 2. Cook not able to get the run. Thorpe holds on to 5th. We continue to lose ground. Truck in the wall. That's the 12 of Murphy. Meanwhile, you saw Chris Nail earlier get sent sideways by the 15 of Trevor Keith. He has not recovered any of that ground, and a little bit of damage on the left rear for Chris Nail. He's fallen back to 18th position, back to where he started this race. Truck off the racetrack somewhere here, and we got pit stops. Morgan Cook down pit road, 72 of Burns. Also in the pit lane, Stange stays out for another lap. Parker Johnston also in. It's like the 18 of Threlkeld. Chris Nail. Bresnock in for service. 4 tires going to be the call here with just over 30 laps left in this race. Trevor Earhart will take the lead. The 30 of Stange is now in for service. And hopefully no speeding penalties for Stange. Don't want a caution to come out while you're stuck down here on pit road. Dakota Floyd going to take over the lead as Trevor Earhart comes in for service. So how long will Floyd stay out? Grant Thorpe also on this mix. We have 8 trucks yet to hit pit road. Earhart actually coming down, so 6 trucks now. Reinstedel, Keith, Hudgens, Alves, Thorpe. Floyd stays out. Now he will come down pit road this time. Thorpe will take over the point. Stange somehow cycles out behind Trevor Earhart. I think, nope, Earhart still on pit road. Here comes the 30 of Stange to take over the top spot. 20 laps to go now. How far do you want to push this run? 5 trucks yet to come into pits. It's Grant Turner, 21 laps down here. Got the damage repaired on that number 7, but has not had a good night. Hudgens still out there as well. About 2.5 seconds separate each of the top 3. Then Dustin Reinstedel just behind Hudgens here for the 3rd position. On board with Reinstedel. Remember, had problems on that restart. Got a truck to the outside. That is the 30 of Stange. He's going to put these drivers on. He's trying to get his lap back, rather. Give the first truck a lap down. Really hoping that this race stays green so we can cycle. I think that's what these guys are relying on, is if a caution comes out, they'll have the top spots, but I don't think that's going to be enough. This field very spread out. The battle back here with the 72. I say that, and there goes Burns into the inside grass. Will stay green. And more things happening in front of this as Morgan Cook goes by on the outside of Trevor Keith. We need to go back and figure out what happened to the 72 to send him to the grass. Runs it out wide here through 3 and 4. Down across the nose of the 69 machine of Bresnak. A frustrating day for Jeremy Burns. Grant Thorpe continues to stay out. It looks like the 89 did come down pit road. 84 rather. Evan Hudgens, he has hit the pit lane. While Thorpe continues to run. Alves and Trevor Keith trying to recover. Running out of laps. Can these guys make it on fuel? It's another question here. This is 49 laps on the stint for Trevor Keith. Ultra save mode for the 15. Grant Thorpe. Not sure if we have any clutching going on here with the 77. Stange is 1.8 seconds ahead, and if these top 3 drivers can't make it on fuel, he will cycle out to be your leader. Still a little bit of a connection issue here for the 30. Justin Ritchie back here in the 5th position. 1.9 seconds back. He will cycle out to be 2nd place driver. I have a feeling that Thorpe, Alves, and Keith are going to have to come into pit within the next 5 laps. There's the caution. Not entirely sure what it's for here, but it might be Travis Gilbert. That's the culprit. here with the 22. And there is a truck across the wall there. I think that's the 91 of Reed. And that looks a little suspicious. He got loose. He got loose on his own, but what a send down there, battling with Chris Nail. He's 3 laps down, not quite sure what that was all about. But that does mess with the outcome of this race, and we are now approaching our 10 lap to go mark. Grant Thorpe, Nick Alves, Trevor Keith stayed out on the racetrack as long as they could. Now they cycle through to be your top 3. And for Stange and Richie, this is not what they wanted. They got their lap back. They will have the opportunity to come down pit road and not have to worry about the wave around. Thank goodness for that. But for Stange, he was going to cycle through and probably win this race if it stayed green. We are now doubled back up for what could be the last restart of the day. Remember, we do have green-white checkers available. Again, disregard the automatic cautions being turned off. That was for Watkins Glen last week. We'll get that fixed for next week's event. But here we go with Thorpe on the top spot. Alves, Keith, Richie, Stange, top 5. Green flag is out. We're back underway. This could be all she wrote. 3 wide behind. A move to the inside for Floyd. 3 wide here with Trevor Keith in the middle. 30th Stange to the outside. Stange trying to get back to the top spot as Grant Thorpe runs away with the lead. It's tight battling for 3rd. Nick Alves on the bottom, trying to get clear of the 15. Morgan Cook gets loose in the background. Oh, and the 30 gets moved by Earhart. The 57 pushing on the back of the 99. Alex Forget Berube has been quietly outside the top 10 all night long, finds himself racing for 5th, but concedes the position here to the 57. Meanwhile, Justin Ritchie outside of Nick Alves for 3rd. Trevor Keith up to 2nd. We are approaching 10 laps left in this event. And these drivers know it. They have to work their tails off, use everything they've got on the short run speed, because Grant Thorpe is running away. Ritchie peeks to the inside of the 15 there momentarily. And it looks like Floyd hits the wall back here. Stange to the inside, he gets loose off of 2. Here comes the pass for 2nd. Justin Ritchie dives to the inside of Trevor Keith. Will they clear coming out of turn 2? They will. 99 Earhart trying to decide who he wants to go with. Willie clear off of 4. We got a caution. Justice Murphy around. And just like that, at 10 laps to go, we're going to rack him back up at Rockingham. Gets into the wall here. Morgan Cook has nowhere to go. And across the nose of the 72. Let's go on board with Morgan Cook. So this puts Justin Ritchie to the inside of the outside here on this restart. Depending on where he chooses, he could be behind the 77. Trevor Keith, who's fought hard today to maintain and keep this truck on the racetrack, finds himself in a possible podium spot. Meanwhile, you've got Earhart, Floyd, and Stange in the background here. Stange, who led a lot of laps in this second stage, has not been able to get back up there to the top spot. And the way these cautions have fallen here today. Ritchie going to choose the outside with Grant Thorpe. Trevor Keith will be on the bottom for this restart. Let's rack him back up with 9 laps to go from Rockingham. Grant Thorpe, the command truck. Keith on the inside. Ritchie behind him. Earhart, Floyd, Alves, Stange, Berube, Cook, and McGeorge for the top 10. Jeremy Burns back in 12th. We'll have to battle with Christian Bresnock on this restart. Nine laps left from Rockingham in race number 3. Coastal Financial Truck Series presented by Racing Revolution here on Vspeed. Back under green. Thorpe gives a call. The 6 loses ground, has the 99 of Earhart and the 15 of Keith. Blocking the 6, he'll go to the inside. 57 in the wall. They scatter around him. Justin Ritchie trying to get clear of Keith. He was very slow off the exit of turn 2. An ascend here to the inside. So frustrating. Another truck in the wall. That's Morgan Cook. Berube across his nose. Caution is out. Morgan Cook gets into the outside wall coming out of turn 2 here. 57, I think. Berube came up on the 51. Nowhere for him to go. Go back on board here. On board with Bresnock. We still got to get things figured out. We're going to rack them back up. We are going to take a quick commercial break here on Vspeed. We'll have under 5 laps to go for the Coastal Financial Truck Series right after this. Welcome back to Rockingham here on Vspeed. Coastal Financial Truck Series green flag with 4 laps to go. The 77 of Grant Thorpe is the top truck here, but a better restart here for the 6. He's going to take it to the inside through 1 and 2, and Justin Ritchie's going to take over the lead on 4 laps to go. Side by side, Thorpe way up the racetrack here, going to try to drive off on the high line. 6 can't defend it. They'll touch doors going into 1. On board with Justin Ritchie, trying to get clear of the 77. He can't that time. He has Dakota Floyd just behind him here. Parker Johnston lost some positions there on that restart. He falls back to 17th. 2 to go. Truck in the wall. That's the 69. We're going to stay green. Battle here with Logan Threlkeld. He's on the inside of Jeremy Burns for the top 10 for the 18. But Grant Thorpe is going to get the white flag battle for second as they come off of turn 4. One more time around. One more attempt here from Justin Ritchie. He sends it through 1 and 2. Can he get to the inside or outside of the 77? What a send there into 3, but it's not going to be enough. And off of turn 4 for the final time here for Rockingham. Grant Thorpe is your winner in race number 3. 6 1,000 separate Dakota Floyd and Trevor Earhart across the line. Back this up about 15 more seconds and see if we can get a better look at this finish. Earhart goes to the high line through 3 and 4, has a big run off the corner. And right here, we're going to pause at the stripe. That's what it was in the division for 3rd position. And Grant Thorpe is burning it down on the front stretch. Post-race interviews with your top 3. We're going to bring up your winner, Grant Thorpe. Final race results. First, we're going to bring this driver in to the broadcast booth. Into the studio now is Grant Thorpe in the 77, burning it down here on the front stretch. Man, you got to be proud. This thing was, it was never decided. It seemed like every time we had a caution, there was a change in the strategy, a change in the outcome. You capitalized on the situation.
Yeah, I definitely got lucky there with the late caution. I didn't have enough pace to beat those guys on raw speed. So I was strung it out, hope for the best, and got lucky with a caution there at the very end.
When we talked about you staying out there, how many more laps did you have left before you had to pit?
Oh, not many. I probably had to pit within the next 6, maybe 7 laps at best. So I was stretching it till the very end, no doubt, and just got lucky. No, nothing else I can say about it.
Well, Grant, we know that this race will go down as maybe an asterisk, but they don't ask you how, they ask you how many. Congratulations on the victory. Anybody you want to shout out while we have you in the booth?
Just on-cue equipment for stepping up, helping sponsor this week. I appreciate those guys, along as my teammates, as well as my teammates at TriStar. So I finally got the whole team out this week. Got a couple good finishes out of it. I got a stage win with Michael Reed. So appreciate those guys.
Grant Thorpe, your winner here tonight from Rockingham. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good evening.
And with that, we will take a quick commercial break. When we come back, though, we have final race results for the Coastal Financial Truck Series race number 3 from Rockingham. More coverage on Vspeed right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to our coverage. Coastal Financial Truck Series has concluded its 125 miles from Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina. It was Grant Thorpe who got the victory. Stage 1 winner Michael Reed with 7 cautions and 4 lead changes. Final results up on the screen. Justin Ritchie will come home in second. Dakota Floyd in third. We'll get a word with those drivers in just a moment. Trevor Earhart will finish 4th. Jackson McGeorge will round out your top 5. Started back in 16th position tonight to round up 11 positions. Nick Alves will finish in 6th with Christopher Stange in 7th. 8th spot goes to Devin Hudgens with Trevor Keith. Hard fought top 10 for Logan Threlkeld. He'll get around Jeremy Burns on those last couple laps. 11th spot goes to Jeremy Burns. 12th to Christian Bresnock. Alex Courgette Berube going to lose some more points here today. Finishing 13th, Jake Williams 14th. Morgan Cook, tough break for him. Got some damage at the end of this thing. He'll finish 15th. Justice Murphy, 16th spot. 17th, Parker Johnston with Dustin Reinstedt in 18th. Michael Reed, 19th. Your stage winner back there just inside the top 20. And it's Grant the Toes Turner for 20th position. These trucks damaged and more than one lap down. You have the 21st spot going to Chris Nail, Travis Gilbert 22nd, Jacob Sirkovich off the track here. Joseph Gendron also an early day end with the 23 of Christopher Schaefer, Kenneth Lowry, Kyle Diaz, and Matthew Robinson, all taking an early exit here today for Rockingham. Shout out to the chat. I know you guys were rather populated here tonight, rather busy. A lot of shout outs to drivers, but we got some guys to talk to here post race. And the first driver we're going to talk to in our post race interviews outside of your winner, it's Justin Ritchie in second spot. You had it just for a second there. You sent it to the inside. I thought you had enough momentum, but Grant Thorpe got back to your outside in 3, and man, it was tough to pass tonight.
Yeah, it was very, very tough to pass. Looking back at it, I probably would have had the room if I got up in front of him right before we entered 3, but that move would have been just too tight for me to make with a clean conscience. So I'll take a second. It's a whole lot better than what I was expecting.
Well, the anticipation of what we saw there, Stange and you had both kind of hit pit road a little early and split the run in half, but Thorpe and a few others had stayed out. Had that caution not fallen, you think you would have ended up in second anyway?
No, I think I would have probably been 4th behind Stange, Dakota, and Earhart. So it's definitely went in my favor for sure. Got a little lucky, so we'll take that.
Well, Justin, outside of all of the what ifs and could have beens, you do get a top 3 here. Congratulations on that. I know this helps kind of solidify your team. You guys kind of new here at Racing Revolution. Talk a little bit about the start of this race compared to how it ended.
Yeah, the start, it was, there was that early caution, which I was expecting, but I was really just focused on saving tires until the very end of the stage and then trying to get as much of it out as I can. Really long green flag runs benefit this track a lot. So, it was just a fun race altogether. It was a mix of strategy and pace, and that's usually where the most fun happens, at least for me.
Well, congratulations on that second place finish. Anybody come to mind to put the 6 car on the racetrack tonight?
Big shout out to my decal maker, Mr. Bradley Cooper. Don't know if you've heard of him, but he made this sexy paint scheme. And a big shout out to my teammate Dakota Floyd. Lick It and Stick It Motorsports are representing on the podium tonight. And you've just been licked.
Appreciate your time, Justin Ritchie, second place finisher from Rockingham. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Just been licked. I think that's on the side of that truck, on the back of that truck, on the front of that truck. Yeah. Well, thanks for the advertisement there, buddy. We got another truck that probably could shout out the paint, but we're going to shout him out for third position. Dakota Floyd, the Gorilla Glue 57, had a turbulent day. You kind of hovered around that top 5 all day. It seemed like long run pace, you kind of faded out, but here the short stint of 20 laps, you were able to, punch and claw your way to a top 3 finish.
Well, to be honest, I felt like I had really good long run pace, especially when I had that little bit of an incident early on in the race where I bumped somebody and kind of got really loose, almost looped it, and went all the way back to like 21st or something like that, 21st, 22nd, and I had to drive all the way back to 10th right at the end of the stage. I really felt like the truck handled really good in the long run, especially in that I was hoping the race went green the rest of the way. I had the freshest tires. I was really hoping we'd go green and I could drive up to Christopher and try to battle him for it. But yeah, we ended up getting those stringer cautions, and at that point it was survive. Just hold on. Hope you were in a good position to finish the race, and thankfully we were able to bring it home at third by a hair.
Well, the contrast there, and I was mentioning that to say that your short run speed seemed to be better. You picked up a lot of positions there on those restarts. You were able to fight on any line you kind of picked and choose where you wanted to be. And especially with the choose cone, it seemed like you just knew where you wanted to be here on certain parts of this racetrack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I knew the top line was absolutely preferred, especially short run. You could get super strong runs on the outside. And but at that last restart there, three of those guys went to the outside, so I knew I had to go to the inside, get right behind Richie, put myself in the best spot to fight the least amount of cars. So thankfully, we were able to get a pretty clean restart and, like I said, get in front of Trevor there and just hold on for dear life at the end.
We could have Floyd third place here in race number 3. Anybody want to shout out while we have you in the booth?
Well, definitely got to shout out the teammate in the Lizard Lick towing truck. I'm glad he finally broke his streak of bad finishes and getting wrecked. He had a really strong truck all night, so shout out to him. He did fantastic, and so both teammates on the podium, can't ask for more than that. Shout out to the league. I mean, big fields and really, really tough racing. I mean, it is not easy to race here. It is hard to make the passes and get them where you want them. So definitely shout out to the whole field. Rockingham's tough, so yellows are inevitable. Shout out to you guys in the broadcast booth with Vspeed, and you guys do a phenomenal job all the time. Can't wait to go back and watch this one. Shout out to the admins of the league that do everything they do. They have to make the tough calls for penalties and do a great job in race control. So shout out to you guys, and shout out to everybody watching.
Go to Floyd third place at Rockingham. We'll see you in 1 week's time.
All right, thank you, Bradley. Have a good night.
And with that, we conclude our coverage here today. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. We'll have flag-to-flag coverage all season long. Coming up next week, it's time to take it back to something maybe a little bit more familiar. Talladega Super Speedway, the 2.66 miler in Lincoln, Alabama. That will be 75 laps at the Behemoth Super Speedway. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Monday. We also have Racing Revolution Cup Series coming up this Wednesday. Tomorrow coverage for QSR Simulations. Be sure to tune in for that at 8 p.m. For everybody at Vspeed that made this possible. Adam Baker in the background. Our other producers, Logan Threlkeld, who will be doing VTDY and Spark coverage all season long. Plenty of oval racing. Eddie Smith, Christian Hill, and Morgan Cook. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Rockingham. Stay tracking, everybody.